So overall, this currently is going to bring about 3,000 meters per second delta V, which is actually not enough for orbit. We are overkilling our thrust weight early on, though, which is nice to see. Okay. Revert flight to vehicle assembly. Grab that, put it over here, symmetrify it, and grab you into that way. And oh yeah, I need to get another one. So these are, that's the first one that's got to go. That's the second one that's got to go. There we are, giving us 4,000 delta V with everything here with the Ascent. And way too much thrust weight. The first stage here, we could probably, I mean, I could just nerf the outputs, but if I just throw a skipper on there, I think the skipper's got better efficiency. It's lighter as well. It's half the weight, so we save 6 tons. The ISP 280, okay, the IP is the same, but we do save 6 tons of weight. Although then we don't have enough thrust weight in the first stage, so never mind. We are indeed going to have to go with the main sail. And what I could do is nerf the power output of these, but I actually want these to burn their fuel as quickly as possible. So no, I'll just have to throttle down a bit on the Ascent, which is fine. Also, oops. There we go. Got to fix that. So that's 4,000 delta V. That gets us into orbit. And then we've got this stage with 2,000 delta V to leave Kerbin. Is that enough? I have a feeling this might not be quite sufficient. Quill adjusted telemetry of not hitting the clouds. Clouds hurts. No, we solved the thrust with solid rocket booster. No, it's the opposite. We have too much thrust earlier on. Oh, I suppose you're right. I could go and put mainsails on here. And then go and put rocket boosters to get started regardless. That is true, but I think I'm going to be okay with this. Is there anything else we need to do here? I'm sure there is. It's only 210,000 to build this, which is kind of crazy to me. Oh yeah, no, they're never landing. Not this ship. This ship will never land. Instead, because this is going to stay attached to the asteroid, so that we can always reposition it or change it. What will potentially happen at some point is we'll have another ship like just fly by next door, and then these Kerbals can EVA into the other ship if they want to leave here. But this ship here is never landing. Or is it? No, we'll probably just leave it attached. Ultimately, once it's in orbit around Kerbin, we're probably going to have to send a different vessel up for proper refueling stuff. But this ship, there's no reason that we don't just keep it attached for the heck of it. Forgot the most important part, the struts. I mean, we've got some down here. More struts is more better, though. Land the asteroid in Kerbin. Just put it in orbit. Anything else? Never landing intentional. It's just like when we sent Bob or Bill, I can't remember who it was, on the one-way trip to Duna. It's fine. Some people are like, "Hey, you forgot something," and I was like, "No, we didn't forget anything." So I think we're good. So yes, who do we bring on the mission? I do want an engineer. This is not. Oh, we must have a bunch of guys out in a spaceship somewhere. Right, I think we've got a lunar base somewhere making science for us. It would be nice to get an engineer with levels, because that will increase the rate at which we convert things. I don't think we need a scientist. I think Bob can stay here. I think we'll bring 2 engineers. I don't think that makes it a big difference, but we have 2 engineers and a pilot here, and they're going to do that. It was Bob. So Bob's going to stay at home. He doesn't want to go on another mission yet. Doesn't like this. Bob never died. He was just there for a long time. And yeah, I think Bill and Jebediah are currently in a science ship orbiting the moon. We built sort of a base science ship orbiting the moon, and we have another science ship, I think, that goes down, picks up science, comes back. We haven't done much with it yet, but technically it is there. Must construct additional struts. I think we're good. No one's pointing out any horrible, horrible disasters. Let's do it. Pizza. That would be nice. Docking port and antenna. You know what? Well, we don't need the docking port. That's fine. It would actually be quite awkward to dock to this thing anyway. But an antenna actually would be very handy. We don't need the antenna to fly around, but we will get science from the asteroid, and most likely we will want to transmit it. So what we want is probably the best non-relaying antenna. Which, I mean, I guess the best antennas just are relaying. That's a relay, that's a relay, relay, direct, at 15 Gs. So no, actually, this is tied with the RA-15, but it's lighter and cheaper. I mean, just basically half, and it's got good range. I don't even know if we need this, but we may as well throw that on, and let me put that aside for a second. Let me move you to here. Move you down that way. Move you to here, and when you're extended, you extend up that way. That feels pretty good. Okay, I like that. Solar panel still on? Yes. Yes, I've got a trio of them in here. All right. Not enough delta V? Probably not. I am actually very worried about that. I have no idea what's going to be involved in hitting the asteroids, and I'm worried that they're going to be way too fast moving, and we simply won't have enough juice to get it done. And part of it is because we don't have the huge the next set of engines, which is kind of sad. You guys have you don't have built-in decouplers or anything, right? But what if we like started with these? What's their thrust? 2,000, 1,500. We could go and build one more layer at the bottom here. Is that crazy? I mean, ideally, actually, for more delta V, it would be about building up the areas that come well after this. The later stages. Once you're in space, but... If we started with this, and... Whoa, 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 whoa. That's some interesting staging going on there. And then, yeah, that, and then these light. First of all, okay, we have enough thrust down there, which is great. And it does add some delta V. I mean, not a ton, but some. And obviously we'll need struts down here. We need to strut our stuff. And these guys are actually... There we go. Getting inside of each other in a not entirely helpful way. There we go. It's a monstrosity. I love it. I love it. Boom. And what are those over here? Why do they keep staging up there? Probably because of where they're physically attached. Okay. Can you call your videos "Let's Explode in Kerbal Space Program"? A great mission for Bob. Send him towards the sun in a small cage. Poor Bob. Hasn't he suffered enough? Tell him we're throwing him on a tropical holiday. Winglets. No, we don't need winglets. We've got so much gimbling. I mean, although it's possible these base engines don't have gimbling, which would be a little sucky. But if they do, and we've got like good reaction wheels over there. If this don't gimbal, that will suck a little bit, although we're not going to be on that very long. We are going to be starting with... do I actually just want to program this in? I think I do, actually. So this is going to start you straight up, and then we'll pitch 80 degrees, which is going to be fine. I guess one of the things to consider is... First of all, which one's our target? That's a D. I don't want that one. God, yeah, these are really... You know what? We don't have enough delta V. because we've got to leave the Kerbal system. The D one's actually within the Kerbal system. Just barely, though. Yeah, we probably won't reach, but we'll try. Okay, so I'm going to set this as a... I can't set it as a target. Really? Huh. I need to track it. How do I track it? Oh, track. Oh! Oh! Okay, so it is going to intersect the Kerbal system over here. Ah! Alright, so these are on their way in. So, that's very cool. Now, this is going to be in, what, about a fifth of a year. Do we want to wait until it's closer? Every asteroid the KSCCs will enter the Kerbal system eventually. Do we want to wait until it's closer before launching? Or I suppose I can launch and go into orbit now and then just advance time until it's time to meet. I think we'll do that. See, I've done a lot in this game, but I've never done anything with asteroids, nor have I done any actual remote refueling. Most of it's very inconvenient to land normally. Okay, so you are surface up, good, full fuel, excellent. I could use the automatic ascent, but go, go, rise, my beauty, rise! You can do it! Woohoo! I don't know what the sounds are like. I don't know if they're super loud or what, but there it is. God damn, that is nice. Okay, prepare to pitch over 10 degrees. And you are go for pitch. I was going to say, that looks too fast to me. I was worried. I think the reaction wheels might be almost too much for the wind, but there we go. Their prograde is going to match up over here, so that's going to be fine. I'm going to hold that for a while, and we'll be ready to go surface prograde. We'll probably wait until we stage. Alright, go ahead, surface prograde, that's fine. Yeah, I think our angle is going to be okay. We'll probably rise too steeply, but that's safer and easier. It's less fuel efficient. There you go. And yeah. So let's pitch down to 60 degrees at this point. Might be a little too aggro. Now we're fine. Can I get in MechJeb here my orbital info, please? What are we looking at? Time to apoapsis is climbing very steeply. I want to pitch down to 45 degrees. Surprised we didn't get any aerodynamic things. Time to apoapsis is climbing, but not too quickly, which is good. We're just dragging down our prograde here. Haven't even started staging our asparagus yet. I can throttle down as well at this point. There we go. And stage. Very nice. And now we are so high up, the air is going to be pretty thin, so I'm going to, in a couple of steps, pitch down to horizontal. Just making sure things are stable along the way. And 15 degrees. And at some point, the time to apoapsis will, there we go, stop climbing. In fact, if I went down too flat, it would actually stop rising altogether. What's my current apoapsis? It's high enough. So I want to pitch level and go for full burn over here. And this won't push up the apoapsis quite too much. It's mostly flattening out our orbit at this point. As much as possible. A beautiful planet down there. So I'm going to kill the gas completely once we hit 100k apoapsis. And there we go. Oops. When you're mousing over a window, it eats your input. So there we go. And you will be going to orbital prograde at some point here. Obviously, we can ditch our protective shell. We could have done that sooner, thereby saving a little bit of weight a little bit sooner. Oh, we got wobble. Okay, kill the smartass. Oh, because we lost the shell. I should have let the shell for structural integrity. I'm used to dumping it as early as possible to eliminate weight, but we're getting wicked wobble. Now, we are in space, which means I can time warp a second and fix that, but this is far from ideal. Yeah, because we're using the reaction wheels here to twist, and it's flexing right over here. This is actually very, very, very unhealthy. I think we're going to have to redo this and not ditch the shell. Or, honestly, I'm wondering if I should not have the shell in the first place and just strut from down here. This is going to be a huge problem. I'm gonna have to revert the flight. Literally to the launch, and all I'm going to do is not stage the aerodynamics. That's it. Don't redo, use the auto struts. I don't know what you talk about with the auto struts. So I'm going to turn this off, and because, I mean, clearly that went really well, I'm just going to use the Ascent guidance just to save myself a little bit of clicking along the way. And we can just chit-chat 100. That's going to be good. Limit this, limit that. Excellent. Auto stage, auto deploy solar panels. That's going to be fine. Good. Excellent. All the staging was good. Engage autopilot. Right-click on any part, turn on auto struts, just turn on connections. Can I do that, like, live? And are you talking about a mod, maybe? Because I don't see any of that, and I didn't see any of them in the editor, either. Setting it in options to show advanced tweakables. What? I bet you I can't do that while I'm running. I bet you it has to be between, like, from the main menu. Advanced tweakables. What is this witchcraft? What is this witchcraft? So we're gonna be fine as long as we don't lose this, but once we do lose this, I'll probably look into that again. So this Ascent is almost exactly what we did manually a second ago. But it means I can look at chat instead of, you know, steering, which is lovely. I actually use I've talked about this before, I use a very conservative Ascent profile for the Ascent guidance, which means it's actually not as fuel efficient as I could do it by hand, but it, I don't know, very rarely screws up, so it's like, there you go. This covers the biggest part of the last update, yeah. In the editor, you get visualization of the auto struts. Okay, I see. So there are invisible struts going on right now. Which is reasonable, because one of the things in Kerbal is that the connections between parts, especially at a coupler, is so much weaker than the connection. I need to potentially throttle down here. That will be fine, because we're losing a little bit of speed here. I could tell this to limit throttle as well, or limit acceleration, and prevent overheats. I think we're going to be okay. The air is getting pretty thin, so I don't see any heat bars yet, so we're okay. Although this means that we are using up some of our thrust to push against the atmosphere in a way that's not efficient. But I think we're going to be fine. My head blocks the orbit info. There we go. I was going to move my head, and I realized it's probably easier to just do that. MechJeb is still definitely a mod. I think the Delta V stats need to be incorporated into the base game. And other than that, I don't really need MechJeb as much as you used to. Now that the SAS is a lot better. The problem is the old SAS used to be very wobbly, and you used to always use like 100% of your reaction wheels, no matter what. So they'd burn through your batteries in seconds. They were really bad for that. But I think it was in 1.2 that they dramatically improved the built-in SAS to A, not be as wobbly, and B, oh, we're still getting the wobble. Okay. Disengage autopilot. And what we're going to have to do then is we're going to have to go ahead and deploy this. And I guess auto strut all the things over here. I don't know if heaviest part is the one we're going for. We'll see. Apoapsis set is 100. Excellent. So if I tell you to burn prograde, which I can do in here, but I just like the big buttons over here. If I do that, there we go. No wobble along the way. Okay. So clearly something here has strutted along the way and given us much more consistency here. The problem is some of these connector barks don't even let you attach struts to them, which is very annoying. So yeah, my Ascent profile last time was a lot better than this, I think. A lot flatter. But it is what it is. No. No, we're still getting wobble. Ooh, there we are. That's probably it, because there's a huge gap in between here. I don't think we need that, but let's just say for the sake of it. There we go. So that broke the wobble. Maybe through this little wincy part over here. I like big buttons, and I cannot lie. Hey, we got a tip in. From... Oh, Ramosun! Hey! Here's one for the fun, particularly the whiskey part. Yeah. Since, because it's a programming stream, we are skipping the multiplayer part because we didn't have quite enough time in the schedule for all of it, which traditionally is where we get out a little liquid propellant to help us along the way, in the form of whiskey. Oh, I'm missing my window, aren't I? No, we're still approaching the apoapsis. So, I don't know, maybe for the second part of this flight, we'll need a little bit of extra liquid propellant to help us out. We'll see how it goes. Suppose I could fast forward a bit. I assume this is going to be a relatively short burn for circularization. One way you can tell, right, obviously you're going to burn facing orbital prograde, which is fine, which you can normally do over here. Once you start your burn, if the time to apoapsis goes up, you're burning too early. There you go. So it's going up. So you're burning too early for optimal. You're mostly pushing your apoapsis up, or you're pushing apoapsis too much. So you keep doing it. If you get to the point where the apoapsis time to apoapsis is dropping slightly, yeah, so it's increasing here. But if you get to the point where it's dropping slightly, then you are burning at a good spot. And really what you want it to do is burn quite quickly, because you want to do half your burn before and half after. You can also just burn more slowly as well. And see, the time to apoapsis is dropping, but that's okay. It's dropping slowly, and actually it starts to slow down its drop, so we'll do this. Optimally, you know, if you plan the maneuver, you can do all your burn at exactly the sweet spot, but there we go. Time to apoapsis is actually starting to climb again, but at this point we're so close that it's going to be okay. You can see the actual apoapsis height is barely changing. The periapsis is mostly changing, and there we go. We have now circularized. Beautiful. And we still have fuel in our asparagus-ing, so hopefully we got enough delta V to get us all done. I don't know. I'm going to turn off the smartass. We are going to get ahead and deploy the solar panels, and hopefully they're not in a bad place and smash themselves. Looks okay. They're twisting and hitting a little bit, but I think like that interpenetration there is fine. They are physics enabled. They can get hit by things and burned in the atmosphere, but I think that's mostly okay. So what we're going to do at this point is make a proper save. Save. Boom. Like that. Because who knows what kind of crashes and things could happen. So our power situation should be fine and brilliant over here. We can keep our resources open over here. That's going to be fine. We have tons of monopropellant and a fair amount of electric charge saved up. Maybe not enough. I don't know. Is that part of my shell, or is that the asteroid over there? Well, it might be an asteroid. Here's that one. And then there's this one, which we are tracking. Set as target. So I don't think there's anything else I can do at this point. Well, that's not true. This is where it's going to cross in 75 days. And really not planner. So one thing I could do, can I, if I change my inclination now, can I get myself in the same plane now? I think I can. Deploy the thermal control system? Yeah, I guess we don't need it yet, but we may as well. Oh, that's glorious. Hold on. F2, screenshot time. Oh, do the thermal radiators deploy themselves perpendicular to the sun so that it doesn't shine on them? Ah, that's quite cool, actually. Track the asteroid, yes. We're tracking the asteroid. We'll see where it'll pass. So, presumably, I'm assuming the information is correct right now, that if I were to go and make my inclination change now, that would be the correct inclination change for the eventual pass of the asteroid. But I'm wondering if, over the course of 75 days, if this is only now and it's going to change later, it's probably fine. Although I guess there's no rush. If I'm worried, there's no reason I have to do my plane change now, right? Let's do quick save. What I should do is bop back to the tracking center and just fast forward time to within like a day of rendezvous or something like that. Well, not a day, because it's gonna take us, that's out way over here. That's near Minmus. It's gonna take us what, 2-3 days to come out there? Like for orbital length? At this point in the mission, Quill literally has no idea how much fuel he will need, so he has enough. It's not a problem. Isn't that the D asteroid? No, we're tracking the B. That's what I clicked on. The D is over here. We're tracking the B right now, so it's that. All right, so push comes to shove. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go and I'm going to fast forward to about 10 days away from that. Although, do I have a timer for that? I'd have to set up a timer. Raw time. So, it's 75 days, right? So, if we make it, so 60 days from now, and I just quick saved in case I goofed up my reminder, we're going to set this. I suppose I'll hop into the tracking station and fast forward from there so I can watch it. But this will stop our time warp automatically. So this is the one I'm tracking here. No, that's Duna. This is the one I'm tracking here. So if I fast forward, this should stop us not long before it starts to encounter the Kerbal system. There we go, 30 days. And actually what I'd like to do is, yeah, right when this enters the Kerbal system, that's when I'm going to want to stop. So actually let me delete the alarm. And just wait until it properly enters the system. There we go. Stop, stop, stop. I think we still have several days to get this to work properly. So now if we go back to Asteroid Getter Done, which I should have spelled with an I, Getter Done, right? That's not the D. How many asteroids in the game? I think the asteroids are just generated on the fly. I think at any given time there's going to be like half a dozen to a dozen asteroids around, and they just get an encounter, and then new ones get produced while the old ones get deleted. There's not like thousands of asteroids in the system or anything like that. Okay. So this still says 9.6 and probably still at the same place. So what we want to do is we want to match inclination of the target, which is very easy to do. We just burn normal or anti-normal at either the ascending or descending node. Just to make my life slightly less annoyed, I will say I would like you to match planes with target. Excellent. Execute node. So this is planning the maneuver for me. But it's really, yeah, it's quite simple. It's actually kind of annoying if you plan a maneuver yourself, because the maneuver planner, when you're burning normal or anti-normal, it gets weird. So really what you want to do is use the maneuver planner to find out if you'd want to burn normal or anti-normal in the first place, but don't do the maneuver for it. Just like set your SAS or your smart ASS, either way, to point you in the right direction. Wait until you get close to the ascending or descending node, and then just start the burn manually. And then flip back to the map and watch your inclination here, your current one. And it'll tell you how many degrees you're off, and then just adapt it at that point. I guess at some point it might be handy to have a... Is there a target info? I guess not, but that's fine. I think this will be the last bit of automation I use. I will go and manually plan the intercept, unless I've overshot it brutally. But this is such a simple thing, but it's kind of annoying. So, this makes me much happier. Good. Okay.